Sports Nights with Jorge.
All right, Dolphins fans, welcome to SNJ channel. Have a good one for you today. As you see on my screen here, great signing. Thank God Greer did his homework and signed Jonah. But I'm gonna throw you some stats on the Miami Dolphins. Why it was important to sign Jonah, and we know already. Our main weakness is our offensive line. Now, as you see, I didn't add James Daniel to this actually picture here. Why? Because he's injured, coming out of injury, uh, torn ACL. We have a good offensive line, not a great offensive line. Let me start by saying that. And this is the importance why we signed Jonah. Okay, his physical, his blocking style, and his protection. Same thing as Daniel. The good thing about Patrick Paul is that at least he has 1 year of experience in the NFL. And thank God to Teron Armstead because they work together. So that's going to be a key for this team. Now, we are going to compete in the AFC East? Yes, I believe so. I'm staying positive. I believe that we're still probably missing a little piece of the puzzle. We're talking about cornerbacks. And listen, guys, I'm going to say this. We as fans, we might not trust what we have on the cornerback field. I mean, we let Ramsey go to Pittsburgh on the trade. We got Mika, which that's a plus in the secondary. The question that everybody's asking, if these players go down, who do we have? Right? That's one of the key elements that I believe the Dolphins are working on this offseason. They are preparing to battle and take the title in the AFC East. Now, you say, wow, that sounds kind of hard to do. I said, yeah, it is kind of hard to do because this team has struggled against, the Buffalo Bills. You got to prove to beat Buffalo twice to win the AFC East. Listen, some people say that, some people don't. You go 1-1, I'm fine with that. You still beat them. It'll be nice to beat them twice, but anyhow. But I'll come back to that in a few minutes. Now, let me tell you the importance why we needed this guy to be signed. And I'm looking at last year's, okay? This team, okay, started off with Jacksonville. We rushed for 81 yards. It was basically all Jacksonville last year. They led until we came back with Tyreek Hill, touchdown pass from Tua Tagovailoa. Now we go to Buffalo, and even though we lost to Buffalo, okay, we still rushed for 139 yards. Then we play Seattle, and we rushed for 65 yards. But then we had a stretch of 106, 193, 188, 150, 149. The moment that Austin Jackson went down, look at these numbers. Ready? 67 against the Ram, even though we won it. 82 versus the Raiders. 65 versus New England. 39 versus Green Bay Packer. 44 against the Jets. 52 against Houston Texans. Look at the major downfall of this running team once your offensive tackle goes down. This is why it's crucial for the Miami Dolphins in 2025 to stay healthy and protect Tua Tagovailoa if they want to make it to the next level. And listen, I am so optimistic. I think they're going to have a heck of a team. I understand fans are doubting them. A lot of team out there. Listen, the media has really attacked the Miami Dolphins in a way that they feel that Miami did not do good enough. By trading Ramsey, it's like it's the end of the world, and it's not. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, and this is my opinion, okay? I want you to understand this, Dolphin fan. Can somebody tell me what Ramsey did? Because I didn't see nothing he do. So I think it's time for Miami to start changing big player name in your ball club and give these rookies a chance, give these young players a chance, see what they got. Yeah, you might say, well, we want to rebuild. Well, we don't want to rebuild. I mean, you draft a player to play. So when you draft a player, you expect him to play. So if you don't do that, what good does it do to the team? And that's one thing that I'm seeing with the Dolphins. You're playing all these big player money names in your ball club, and there's nothing to show for it. And I could go back then when they signed Donovan Mansu, who just retired. They picked him up. They pay all that money. Where do we go? We didn't win nowhere. We didn't win the playoff. And I can start adding players, but it's incredible. And this is one thing you guys notice. I don't think the owner has a problem of paying good players good money. But I do have a problem of players making good money and not showing up on Sunday. You might agree or disagree with me, but that's something that we have to look at. And this is real, guys. All right? This is the National Football League. You get paid a paycheck and you play on Sunday. Yeah, you give out your 100%. But when you have a teammate or any kind of players in your roster and or in your ball club, whatever you want to call it, decide not to play, he's the big macho and the honcho of the team, and he could skip practices and he could skip OTAs and he could skip film sections and all that. That's the player you don't need. See, that's where I think the culture changed in Miami. And not only that it changed in Miami, but it's also changed to a lot of ball clubs, because if you have these kind of players actually playing at that level in your team, do you really want to have that player in your team? Listen, I look at Mike Tomlin. I look at a lot of coaches out there in the NFL, like Mike Grable, who just is a new head coach of the New England Patriots. It's called discipline. It's called discipline your players. I'm not saying you got to be hard on your players, because, listen, that's not what it is here. It is that you come to compete, you come to play, and you come to win. And everybody has to be in the same, fan base of winning in that ball club. You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days. That is normal, okay? But looking at the Dolphins' offensive line right now, like I said, they're not great, but they're good enough to compete against anybody. Our schedule coming up, I talked about it on the last video, the first 8 games. And this is not a prediction. This is the way I see it. It can happen 3 ways. I don't think they're going to go under 500. They could go 5-3 in those 8 games. They could go 6-2 in those 8 games. They could go 7-1 in those 8 games. And when I say that, because I feel comfortable and confidence that they could really, really win those games. Because I'm going to tell you, the key element of the Miami Dolphins in 2025, guys, is running the ball. Jalen Wright, he looks amazing. He's 210 pounds, all muscle. Took some body fat off. I saw him on one of the podcasts, one of the programs on the YouTube channel, and when he was talking, and it's amazing how he's preparing himself, and he was answered about how the media are pursuing the Miami Dolphins, and yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like now the team to hate is the Miami Dolphins, and I don't like using the word hate in my podcast, but I guess nobody likes them. I think the media's want to bring the Dolphin down, and maybe it's a good thing for Miami. Maybe Miami could beef up and show the National Football League or show the media, hey man, we're not what you think we are. So remember that comment from the guy from Minnesota. We have a young group of core players that could make something special in Miami. I truly believe that. I don't see no downfall, except, and in every podcast that I heard, everybody's using every Dolphin podcaster, which it makes me laugh because I use it too. There's the if and everything. If he stay healthy, if this guy, if. I think we have to get off the if and let it play out. Because this is where I think McDaniel and Greer have to work on the IF, on the if. If we lose Tua, who do we have a backup? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a Zach Wilson fan. And it's not that I'm not a fan. Okay? It is amazing how they say, well, he's in McDaniel's system. McDaniel can help the guy. I saw him in OTAs. Maybe he has to learn the offense more. Yeah, it might be a veteran presence, but that's why they got, Gabbard, a brother. Once again, there's a lot of questions to be asked. And there's a lot of answer that has to be answered. Can the Dolphin be a team that finally in their 6th year with Tua. Because listen, all of us right now are asking for one playoff win. I'm not asking for a playoff win. I'm asking for a division win. I'm asking for a Super Bowl. Of course, you got to go to the playoff, divisional title. You got to go through all that. Because if that's the stepping stone that we're waiting for, because if our milestone is, man, let's win the playoff and get this monkey off our back. You know what? Let's win it all, and then we can take every monkey off our back. And that's what I try to tell Dolphin fans. It's the most difficult thing to do. Remember, it's the Super Bowl. Only 2 teams make it out of the 32. You can have a good season and don't make it. And let's look at that. Minnesota, Detroit, great record in the National Football League. I mean, great division too with the Green Bay Packers. And they were eliminated. So, yeah, the records are good to maintain and to have home field advantage. But how good did it do for Detroit? You know, it comes with a lot of determination and the responsibility of these players working together as a team and making it happen. We as fans, we're going to be the same fans today, tomorrow, and forever. We're going to like them. We're not going to like them. We're going to criticize them. You know, and I think it's time for the Dolphins to step it up, make a statement, and this is it. And we know already. This could be McDaniel last year. This could be Greer also last year. What step can the owner take? And I know some of you guys don't like the owners, but listen, one thing I'm gonna tell you: the man pays the bucks. Tell me what you need, pay the bucks. I think Miami needs to get away of these high-paid players that they got, and you might see the difference in the team. Now, one player that I see in the team that I think that needs to really, really have a good year is Waddle, Jalen Waddle. Waddle injuries continue to progress every time in the season. Man, he comes up with games that he makes great catches and 2 catches, and suddenly he's in the sideline. We have Tyreek Hill. Get all those distractions. Get in the field. I can tell you about Tua and the new offensive coordinator. They're about to run this team to the ground like you don't want to know. There'll be passes that just the receiving core they have, just the running back core they have. I'm not even speaking about the defensive line because I think they'll be okay. If you put pressure on that quarterback, and that's one thing Miami has to work to, getting sacks, putting pressure. Okay, it's going to be a long season for a lot of quarterbacks this year who faces Miami. Because you got Chops, the rookie. I remember in the beginning of the season last year, they were talking trash about him. Give the guy a chance. 2 games is not going to determine that he's good or bad. This is where I want to say something about the Dolphin fans. How do you evaluate a player? I had to evaluate a player a full season. 8 games is not evaluation for me. Because 8 games, anything can happen. But 16 games, I need to know where the Dolphins are standing. What is this player standing? Did he do a good job? We could look at number statistic. We could point fingers. We could say, man, he had 6 interceptions, but against the deep pass, he was terrible. He was getting burned every time. So there's somewhere down the line we have to give it up. You know what I'm saying? It's either or. It's nice to have both things, And you got, of course, PFF, and, when it comes to reports and number, I'm not a number guy. I said that from day one. Now, do I get mad when people talk about it and all that? Listen, Chris and Ace head podcast, he brings some valuable points. Just listen to his podcast, man. It's amazing. And listen to all these Dolphin podcasts. I listen to Doug Lee. I listen to all the Dolphin podcasts to get knowledge, information, and hear their opinion. And some are just right on the dot, and they're so right about it, because, they followed Dolphins for a long time. I followed Dolphins since 1972. That's my first time when I met the Ashley Dolphin. The Dolphin in the pool, in the end zone, all the way in the back in the Orange Bowl, and the Orange Bowl, oh, my God. And I got to tell you a story about the Orange Bowl, but anyhow, my thing is to win, to be successful, we all have to come in together as one and work it out. If you have an individual that is not working in your team, is complaining and whining, you see, this is where I think the culture comes in of the Dolphins. Well, buddy, then you need to pack your bags and go. I know it sounds kind of harsh when I say that, but now it's going to be time that McDaniel's going to have to step up and say, listen, you have a seat in the sideline. When I need you and I call you, I'll let you know. And, and it's not disrespecting your coach. It's you have to follow the rules and regulations of the team. The coach has to coach the team. Yeah, you can have fun. You can have so many things with your coach, but now it's serious for Miami. Everybody wants a playoff win. Well, I'm going to say I don't want a playoff win. For me to prove that you're good enough, you have to win the AFC East. You got to beat Buffalo twice. Easy to say, not easy to do. Okay? And I look at the Buffalo Bills, guys. I look at the Jets. I look at this division. People are so hyped. The Jets fans are so hyped because they got Justin Field and the new head coach. Then you have New England with the new coach, which it could be something different that will help. But then you got Miami. Also, not new coach, but new players. Great draft, by the way. So if you look all around, and then you got the Buffalo Bills. What do they have? Josh Allen? That is it? You lost Stephon Diggs? I don't see their wide receiver core being good enough. That's my opinion now. Now, it's too early. Like I said, it's too early. I don't make prediction. I'll wait till the entire preseason. I'll wait till the whole season goes over, and I'll check, see what they have. I check their draft, which I already have, their draft picks. Remember, draft picks are pieces to fill your team. It's like a puzzle, right? I think where Greer and McDaniel, more responsible for Greer, in the last 5 years for Tua, is built a great offensive line. That's one of the key falters for this GM. Now, you might say he did incredible trades with Tyreek Hill. He made an incredible trade with Ramsey, which, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Ramsey was a big deal. I don't think he was. You bought all these good name players, and you tell me what you show for it. And you could blame Tua. You could blame whatever you want. The offensive line, the defensive line. But if you're talking about players individual, you bought a player that didn't do nothing. Then Odell Beckham, that was a joke, guys. I didn't get what happened there. Why did they did that? See, the moment that they start talking, they got Odell Beckham, they got this guy. When they got Tyreek Hill the first time, everybody said, oh, Super Bowl bound. Now we got somebody that really is going to take us to the next level. All Tyreek Hill did was break records, score touchdowns or yards in the game. And after that, so much that he said, I want 2,000 yards. It never happened. It never did. Why? Because pride, ego gets into a player, and that's normal. That happens a lot. Not taking anything away from him. He's a great football player. But see, all those tangible things that goes in a team, team meetings and things that team do together. If you're not there, let's be honest, we don't need you. And I'm talking in general, Dolphin fans out there. And you know who I'm talking about. The moment you go 0-3, well, you're going to have players jumping the ship. See, that's my question. Either we win, lose, or draw together. If you're not part of that team, then you need to jump the ship. And it's not really jump the ship because they're going to say, hey, man, just move on. And, we don't need here. We don't need you here. Because that's one thing about the Dolphins, man. Too many distractions. I'm tired of the media talking bad about them, trashing the Dolphins, talking bad about Tua. He's not an elite quarterback. Okay, whatever. He's not a top 15, top 10, whatever. You know what he is? A winner. He's 38-24. If you take away Hurst's Super Bowl last year, and his wins, Tua still lead from all these team from Burrow, from Herbert, from Hurst. It's amazing. From the guy in Green Bay, Love, Tua has the best record, and that's still missing 11 games. Imagine if Tua did not miss 11 games. That's the question I want to ask, because I know you have a lot of Tua haters. I know you do. Now, did I say Tua it's a Joe Burrow? No. Is Tua a Brady? No. Is Tua Patrick Mahomes? Or a... You know what's amazing? I'm going to tell you what's amazing. Allen could become a Dan Marino. Why did I say that? Josh Allen might never win the Super Bowl. Who knows? And if he does, it's not going to be the Buffalo Bills. God, look at Jim Kelly, the great Jim Kelly. 4 years in a row in the Super Bowl and lost by freaking field goal. And that's an elite quarterback. Dan Marino's an elite quarterback. So if Tua wins the Super Bowl, he's an elite quarterback. Another subject to talk about, because that's one subject I don't understand. What do you call an elite quarterback? A guy that throws for, let's say, 5,000 yards a season. Let's say he throws 50 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. But he doesn't make the playoff. But he wins the MVP. Is he elite? Or he has to win the Super Bowl to be elite? Because I'm hearing conversation now that Hurst won the Super Bowl. Oh, he's an elite quarterback. But if he didn't want it, he wasn't elite. And all we hear is, oh, he's almost there, he's almost there. Unfortunately, Tua has something that concerns all of us as fans. Let's be honest, as fans. Okay? His concussion and his hip now. That's the only thing I'm worried about right now, guys. His hip and his concussion. But if we have a great offensive line and protect Tua, I'm going to tell you the truth, it's going to be a long season for a lot of teams out there facing Tua, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Malik Washington, Jalen Wright, A-Chain, Ollie. I mean, just look at that lineup. And I haven't mentioned the tight end. I think they're going to be very explosive. I think they're going to open it up once again. Remember, McDaniel's not running the offensive line this year. We got a new offensive coach. But anyhow, I want to thank everybody that have subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment. And once again, man, thank you so much for joining in. And see you guys later. And I'll probably go live later. Thank you. And you guys have a blessed day. And I'll talk to you guys soon.